Welcome back, everyone, to the Song of Waves and Wind, where last time Noriel's son, Thorongil, was captured by the Corsairs, and she does not look happy about this. So what you gonna do about it?
This outrage cannot stand.
I will wage such war upon the Corsairs that they will not sail within sight of Gondor for 1,000 years. I will call to arms every knight that has ever raised a sword within Peleth and follow me to rescue my son. Ooh, she is really upset, that's for sure.
I think there is reason to believe the Corsairs will not harm Thorongil.
The Corsairs will see value in keeping Thorongil alive to use in a potential bargain with Gondor. If we act rashly, we may endanger the boy's life. We must not risk that. I want to send someone to follow the ships. We must track them from the shore and see where they sail. It is not certain that they will return directly to Umbar, and if they put in at a cove along the Langstrand, we may be able to rescue Thorongil before he is brought back to the kindred of the coins. What do you say, Pineleaf? Are you prepared for the chase? How did I ever guess that I might be volunteered for that particular item?
Return to Anfalas as quickly as you can, and look for some sign of the retreating Corsair ships.
If it can be managed, we need to know what direction those Corsair ships sailed as they leave the river. We'll follow after you, but a larger company must move more slowly than one hobbit. Once you have determined the direction of the Corsair ships, you will find me at Lon Kirion. Go with utmost haste, my friend. Much depends on what you can learn of their course. Right. I shall follow them and determine what they are doing with their ships as we begin the chase. I have arrived in Thingast, and now let's go to the beach and find out if we can find out anything about these Corsairs, and if they're going to create any trouble. Especially more trouble than that Avonk did. Now, I found a good way down. I'll see if we can find a location on the beach where we could make a nice search for Thorongil. This looks like a good spot to give us a nice clear view. The hazy sky over the waters hides from your sight any retreating ships. Oh well, let's head off west a little bit, see if things are any clearer. This looks like a good spot right around here. Yeah, let's go and take a nice look. Still looks a little hazy. Can't quite make out what the distant shapes of the water might be. Whether or not they are Corsair ships or anything like that. Well, well, there's someone up ahead. Maybe he'll know something. If you saw any ships or anything like that, that could be useful. Hello there. Have you noticed any ships sailing by recently?
Fleeing Corsair ships? No, I've not seen anything of that sort today.
Well, I have only just arrived from Melgobos. You say that they would be coming down the river? Doubtless these are not the tidings that you need, but I did see your ships going upriver a few days ago. From hiding I watched their crew come along shore, bearing torches and shouting commands. They visited the haunted grove to the northwest. Foolish idea, of course. That's a place decent folk don't go, and still haven't. Who would count a Corsair decent after all? Anyway, they were inside for just a quarter of an hour or so, and when they emerged, they reboarded their ships and sailed up to the river. I told the town guard back home, so do not think that I haven't done my share, But I am just a fisherman, and even the guardsman knows better than to get mixed up with two ships of Corsair raiders. You think that they may keep a secret store of goods and weapons in the grove? Well, Stangdane it is called, and I tell you again that is haunted. You won't see me creeping around there, and if you're more wisdom than foolish courage, you won't go inside either. So good day to you. Well, good day to you too. And now, let's see, sail along in that direction. Now I just had to figure out how to get there. As I have often said, the ridge is the natural enemy of the hobbit, so I decided that I would swim there instead. Yeah, I know. Sure, hobbits aren't exactly known for their swimming skills either, but this looks like it'll have to do, and did I just miss my stop? Yeah, I think this is the best place for me to come ashore. Yeah, this looks perfect. Who knows what we'll find here? Something haunted. Probably the dead, right? Tumbale. There seems to be no immediate sign of Corsairs in this grove. Okay, well, that's good, I suppose. Ah, well, what do you got here? A bow. Why is a bow here? This bow is of unusually high quality and is in fine repair. A deep rumbling sound seems to come from all around you. Oh, an ent. I suppose an ent could give someone the impression that the place is haunted? Well, if it is haunted, I guess the ent will know about it, right? Hello?
You there, small one.
Have you come here to Tumbamale to bring tidings of my friend Nestinanesorne? Nestinanesorne? I don't think so.
There have been many strange happenings of late.
Well, that I'll have to agree with him on. The ent slowly turns his head to look past the trees of the grove and falls silent. After a long moment, he seems to realize that you are still there. A long, windy sigh escapes from his mouth. It is most unusual for so much to happen to the ents. I am called... He begins, and after a time you realize that the sound rolling out among the twigs and branches of the grove, making them restless, is actually a long name spoken languishingly in Old Entish. But you may call me Lothlu, or Leaf Shade, he continues, his voice little more than a sigh. Meaning, if you must address me in your short-winded, hasty language, use that, Leaf Shade. Well, what do you need to tell me?
That is the bow of my friend Nestina Nesorna. He left it here when he went away.
There was a gathering of my folk. Some... What is the word you kind would use? Months. Some months ago, on my return, I came across a dying creature, suffering from a poisoned wound. He reminded me of an old friend, an elf I once knew. Ah, Therian. Who? She lived among the beaches and sang so beautifully. Who? Uh, should I prompt him?
But you did not know Fairy.
No.
You would not have.
The lives of Ents are measured differently. Who? Months. Months are the blink of an eye, or less. I was thinking of Therian when I carried this wounded creature, this elf, back here to my home. I did not know if he would live. For Therian would try to save him. In time, he did recover his strength. And that is when I named him Nestine Sorne, which is a sapling who is healed in the words Therian taught me. Awaken, Nestine Sorne. So I suppose this is Nestine Sorne in his memory. He looks familiar. Where am I? What happened to me? I remember the marching ranks of the orcs, my friends. I have to warn my friends and the defenders of Helm's Deep. But how did I come here? Pain. I remember a pain in my side. I think you are going to live after all. I feel so weak. You were pierced by an arrow when I fell you. These Boobrum, these orcs, they are a deadly poison. I have to warn my friends. This poison! His friends to warn Helm's Deep ended a long time ago. Well, I guess he did say months ago. You are one of those long-lived ones, like my friend Therian. But even poison can bring the elves low, if it is of a bad sort. The poison used by these Burarum, these orcs, is of a very bad sort indeed. Any other struck by their arrows would have died at once, and never known there was poison to survive. An elf might last a little longer, but without my Entish medicine, you would have perished too. You are, lucky. Ents do not believe in such things, but Varian used to speak of it to me. Oh, she did. If I had not seen you on my return journey, you would surely be dead now. You have Farian's luck, little Nestinanesorne. You slept for a long time, and will need to sleep longer if you are to be fully healed. What did Farian used to say to me? You are not out of the woods yet. Boom, boom, boom. Imagine that, Nestinanesorne. Boom, boom, boom. So, around the time of Helm's Deep, obviously before Helm's Deep was last he heard. Yes. And right, and he would be coming back from the Entmoot just around the same time. You are fortunate you have awoken. I had decided to drop you in the sea if you did not survive the poison. That is a joke? I hope that was a joke. Hoom, 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 hoom.
Time passed, but Nestina Nesorna could not wait.
Could not wait for what? Well, looks like he tried to move and didn't succeed very well. You have to let me go, Leaf Shade. My friends need me. Horde, Nona, Pine Leaf, Cleowina. I tried to stand and walk, but my body still too weak. Oh, that might look familiar. Coraldun. You cannot help them as you are now my friend. Whom? They would fight for me, Leaf Shade. I am failing them. Rest now, Nestinanesorne.
Slowly, my friend regained his strength.
What is it, Leaf Shade? Something has changed. The air tastes differently. I think a great and distant evil has been defeated. Not Sauron. Your names for things are so small, Nestinanesorne. But you may be right. Boom, toom, boom. The natural world sings anew. Boom. My friends, my heart tells me this victory is yours. But did you survive it? Well, if I'm hearing this story, I must have.
But Nestina Nesorna was still weak on the day strangers came
Strangers.
to my home.
And what strangers are these? Oh! Nakasi, wait, she gets around quite a bit, doesn't she? Well, the fact that her husband is not with her tells me that most likely this is after the incident in Gondor, so this is only recent. And with Tethata the Beast, whoever she is, and several Corsairs. Why should we not burn this grove as a message to the folk of Gondor who live in Anfalas? We have set fire to their ships, but the ships come from elsewhere and are manned by crews selected by the Prince of Dol Amroth and by the king far away in the White City. I say we burn this grove to show that they are not safe in their homes. The waves bring us even to their shores, and they are not safe from us. Oh, this is definitely after her husband died. If you do this, Nakasi, do you alone. I want no part of it. I have men enough to burn everything here. I do not need your crew for this, Tata. But I won't forget that you withheld your assistance. I beg you to spare this grove and its keeper. Can we not come to an arrangement? Oh? What kind of arrangement will this be? Nestina Nesorne left with them and sailed away on one of their ships. I did not want to fight, and I am glad, glad that I did not have to. But I hope my friend is safe. Well, he must have been the elf that stopped the Corsairs from killing Thorongil directly. At least now we know why there is an elf there. He was not yet fully recovered from his wound, and could not hope to oppose the people of the ships if it came to fighting. Leafshade stares at you in a half-lidded eyes. He seems nearly ready to fall asleep once again. Oh boy. And when enough and falls asleep, they can fall asleep for a long time. That is quite the tale.
Yesterday I saw the ships return.
The ships sailed south until they disappeared over the horizon. Leafshade's words rise in intensity until the booming shakes the branches of the trees of Stranding. I hope you will ensure Nestin Nesorne is safe. Leafshade ceases his trumpeting and quiet returns once more to Tumbamale. He is a friend, he murmurs. So many others went away. Oh, I'll do what I can to help Corridon, or Nestin Nesorne, as you call him. But apparently he says no more. Well, let's see if the king has arrived at Lon Kirion yet. I couldn't find the ships, but I got some news from an Ent that says that the Corsairs sailed south.
We have only just arrived at Lon Kirion. Did you learn where the ships are bound?
So Nakasi does make for Umbar. I wasn't certain that would be so. It seems that she knows the value of her captive to the kindred of the coins. But something else troubles you, my friend. Your friend Corridon lives, Pineleaf, but he is in need of rescue. As it happens, we are already planning for such a mission, for young Thorongil must be freed from the imprisonment as well. I feel in my heart this is the way that it must be. Both of these captives are being brought to Umbar, the city of Corsairs. A small party of adventurers might infiltrate the city and rescue Thorongil and Corridon, when a larger group must surely fail. I want you to lead a small party, my friend. I know that you would be the right choice for this task, though it proves to be most dangerous. You say that Corridon's sister Siglet intended to investigate his disappearance near Helm's Deep? I will send a message to Erkenbrand that she may be found and told of these tidings. All right.
You will need a ship to carry you and the crew you choose to bring to Umbar.
I know I can rely on you for this, Pineleaf, but you'll need a ship to carry you and your crew that you choose to bring to Umbar. I have already spoken with Orgalos about this, and have given the heir of Galazgil a number of things to consider. But, as you will lead the expedition across the bay, you should be the one to hear what he has decided. I believe you'll find him in his bedroom somewhere upstairs. All right. Let's see. Since we need a ship, and we know who currently has possession of one. Hello there. I see you've been thinking.
Someone needs to rescue Thorongil, and I suppose it falls to me.
We cannot choose the times that were called upon us, are we? Can we? Someone needs to rescue him. I have watched the men training, and I can swing a sword nearly as well as they can, and the Wave Hunter has a crew who will do the actual sailing, I trust. I don't know what to do, Pineleaf. I want to help, and to prove that I am strong and brave enough to do what my father would want me to do. But I also know that I can't leave my mother alone. I share some of the blame for Thorongil's capture. Should I not also be responsible for helping rescue him if such a thing might happen to be possible? The king said to me, "What will your father tell you?" But I confess that I don't know. Do you? Do you have any idea what my father, Galazgil, would want me to do? What he would have to say? Well, that's a good question. Let me think about how he was like in life. I remember Galazgil standing in the White City before the battle was joined on the Pelennor fields, unafraid of the hard times ahead, trying to remember the words of an old traveling song. I remember finding Galazgil on the Pelennor fields after the great battle, surrounded by the corpses of the orcs that ambushed him. I recall, too, that he looked on his face when he learned how many of his friends perished before the walls of Minas Tirith. But such sorrow did not keep him from marching to the Black Gate with the men of the West when this king required it. I remember Galazgil at the Battle of the Black Gate as he stood face to face with the mighty Olog that would give him his mortal wound. And you recall his final words. "If there is a day to come after this," he said, "look to the people of Anfalis. Tell them their lord." I can't say for certain what the Lord of Anfalis intended, for then he died, only moments before the fall of the Dark Lord Sauron and the rout of Mordor's armies. I relay his father's words to Orgalos, and Galazgil's air, rubs a smudge on the floor with his shoes. Now he's thinking again. Well, what do you think?
My father's last thoughts were not for himself, or for what he was about to lose?
They were for the folk of Omphalos so far away? How can that be true, Pineleaf? He left us behind to go to the war. If it was truly cared, would he not have remained there? As Theorgelas, your father, counted his family, his son and his wife among those people of Omphalos he sought so much to protect, and it was on their behalf that he followed the king to war. Orgalis sighs again. Is that what you're telling me? To be a good ruler, you have to put the needs of your people ahead of your own? Is that what it means to be the son of the Lord of Omphalos? Is that what it means to be the heir to Galazgil? But it's so difficult. Thorongil would cast all that aside and charge off into battle, hoping to achieve glory. And before today I might have done the same. But I'm not a fighter. Well, not yet. And if I were seized by Umbar, as was Thorongil, what would that mean to the people of Omphalos? I have to stay here. I have to help my mother to be here for my people. My father is a great mariner and a mighty warrior, and I have not yet grown into the man that he was. I must serve my people in another way. He stands.
I will remain behind to help protect Omphalos and Penath Gelin from further attack by the Corsairs.
For that is the best way for me to aid my people. For the king is right that someone must sail to Umbar and rescue Thorongil, if it can be done in secret. He has chosen you for this, Pineleaf, but you need a ship. The Wave Hunter was given to me by my father, and if he had not died to service Gondor, one day he would have taught me to be a great mariner, as he was. But that was not meant to be. Instead, I give the command of the Wave Hunter to you until Thorongil is returned safely to this hall. Use it well and wisely, and may the memory of Galazgil go with you, and fill the sails with wind and speed as you on your journey. When Thorongil is rescued, and the threat of the Corsairs is ended, perhaps you will teach me what you have learned of sailing, and I will drive the Wave Hunter upon the great sea. But that will be in days yet to come. For now, I must find how to protect the folk of Omphalos that I will someday rule, and that is a lesson that I will learn from my mother. So, we now have a ship, and now I must assemble a crew, which is what I'll start doing in the next episode of the Song of Waves and Wind.